Hello everyone and welcome to today's video. I'm now going to talk about Valorant Patch Notes 9.10, and oh boy, do we have a pretty big patch to talk about. All platforms, which includes gameplay system changes to the combat role, concussors, overall UI, visual, and smoke visual, agent changes to Cypher, Sage, Deadlock, Omen, Clove, Phoenix, and Jet, and including weapon and armory changes, which includes regen shields, walk and run inaccuracy, bullet numbers, and a damage for the Phantom. So let's talk about the new armor which will be coming into the game, which is called Regen Shield. Basically, what Regen Shield is basically it is a new defensive option. So it looks like it's only going to be used for the defensive rounds, which is interesting. It will cost 650 creds, which I'm pretty sure is there more than heavy shields? Can't remember. Maybe it's less. I can't remember right now on top of my head. It absorbs 25 HP. The regen pool is 50. It absorbs 100% of incoming damage taken before damage to health occurs, and after a brief delay, the shield regenerates by draining any remaining points left in the regen pool. Yeah, that's definitely one way. I'll show you a clip from the Valorant Korean YouTube channel, basically to show how it looks. But it's interesting. I'll say that for sure. It's definitely very interesting to say the least. There, I'll be interested to see of how people would use this. I mean, I know this was a thing for maybe a couple months. It was rumored for I think a while back, I believe. So we knew it was coming, but now that it's actually here, it's going to be interesting to see how people use this type of shield. Cypher, he's also in a couple changes here. His tripwire now has a 0.5 second wind up before the full wall hack reveal applies and fades in, and the tripwire now has updated minimap icon treatment to better display what the tripwire is connected to, and the neural theft as well, all costs gone up from 6 to 7. This one is pretty self-explanatory. It takes a bit longer for Cypher to get his ultimate. This one is just a bit of a quality of life change in my opinion. It basically will show on the mini-map if it's like where it's connected, which is absolutely fair. I guess this one is the main thing that people are looking at, the 0.5 second wind up before the full wall hack reveals, applies, and fades in. Basically, when someone triggers it, it will immediately, back then I should say, have the wall hack being revealed, but it will take 0.5 seconds now, so it'll be a bit slower. So I guess there'll be a bit of a delay for Cypher players to know who's actually triggered in the tripwire. But I mean, it's definitely a bit of a nerf, you can say, to Cypher, but either way, that's basically how it is. Sage, her healing orb, self-heal has now gone up from 30 to 50. Heal time match the ally heal at around 5 seconds. The slowing orb now will additionally reduce the dash speed of enemies caught inside the slowing zone by 50%, similar to the concuss changes in the gameplay system updates later in the patch notes. And the resurrection cost has gone down from 8 to 7. Like I said, this one's pretty self-explanatory. This one also pretty self-explanatory. It's just that she now heals herself more. This one, I think of it as like a Jet or a Neon. So this is actually a pretty good buff to Sage, in my opinion, compared to like a Neon or a Jet, which has basically been meta now of playing Neon. So I think Sage will be a pretty good, what I'm trying to say, a pretty good counter to Neon in these slow orbs, now that the dash speed of enemies caught inside the slowing zone by 50%, which is similar to the concuss changes. I can tell they're trying to change the meta here with Neon, because it's a bit of a it's a bit of a boring comp. I'm pretty sure like people have been complaining about it a lot because of Neon, so that's fair, but that's kind of really how it is. Deadlock's ultimate will now always kill the target when the time expires, and they are not freed from the nanowire cocoon. Previously captured a target only died if they reached the end location before the time expired. And Deadlock's visual for health on the annihilation cocoon and the barrier mesh has been updated to make their health state a bit more clear. Quality of life change here, I guess, for both of them. I guess you could say this is a bit of a buff to Deadlock. Omen, his dark cover would now always fall to the level geometry where players can stand. similar to other smokes like Brimstone, Sky Smoke, or Closer's Ruse. This should prevent Omen as well for placing one-way smokes on small pieces like fuse boxes in the main or split B, for example. So basically it takes away one-way smokes, which is pretty disappointing because that's kind of what Omen was mainly used for, just do with one-way smokes. But now that that's kind of gone, I think it should be okay. I'll be honest. I mean, like, yes, like it is now a bit more difficult to do one-way smokes, but I feel like there might be some areas where you can still do one-way smokes. Just it's a bit more difficult now with Omen, as he's kind of now on the same level as like Brim or Clove or even Viper even, but. Yeah, so that's kind of all those. Speaking of Clove, her Ruse ally versus enemy clarity around Ruse cast for both alive and dead casts of smokes have been improved. The enemy smokes updated to appear more red than ally smokes, and they're not dead yet. Time to get killed is now gone down from 12 to 10 seconds. This change has been made accidentally patch 8.11 when fixing another bug, but the ultimate has been performing pretty well at this tuning. So I think this one just kind of got snuck into the patch. This one, I'm not too sure. This might be just another quality of life change, I think, for Clove. Phoenix. Now, there's been some stuff around Phoenix happening here. His curveball will now be the new signature ability, which will be there will be a free charge on the round of start, and you'll get 2 kill resets to generate another charge. His curveball is his flash, so that's pretty interesting. I mean, it kind of makes sense as like Sky, for example, Reyna. Well, maybe not Reyna. I don't think Reyna. No, Reyna's blind is not a signature one. I don't think Yoru is, but like definitely like blind characters like Sky, not Breach, but I know Sky's flash is a signature ability, so that's something there. Hot Hands is now a non-signature ability that will now cost 200 creds, and his blades will we want to support Phoenix's hybrid jack of all trades utility value by allowing him to cast blades from safety for a team similar to other vision blocking utility. Initial projectile goes through walls, allowing blades to function similarly to Harbor's High Tide. So this just goes through walls now, which is weird. Would that maybe give Phoenix a bit more flexibility in the meta? Potentially, but at the same time, I think there's better options in a duelist. Neon and Jet, for example. And speaking of Jet, there's just been a Bella's impact bug fix for her drip, which is her passive. Jet can no longer float while suppressed or detained, so it's a bit of a nerf there for Jet. For the map updates, this is just sunset, and they have updated the global lighting for the entire map. Players should see an improvement in lighting quality and general visibility and in previously dark portions of the map. I have seen photos of it, and it is a lot brighter now, which is a definitely good sign, considering that Valorant is mainly well known for colors and brightness and stuff, so I think it's a pretty good change, I'll be honest. Now for the gameplay system updates, and there's quite a lot of them. First off, the combat report. Obviously, it is a tool to provide gameplay context of what your impact was within a round of Valorant. It does have occasional downsides, leaking information to you that you otherwise would have no way of knowing. This happens most often with utilities such as Breach's Flashpoint or Sky's Guiding Light. You do use your ability and get killed, but invariably also discover you blinded players you never saw or engaged with. With these kinds of cases in mind, we're making a change. Well, I should say they are making a change to the combat report. Basically, your util usage statistics now appears once the round has resolved, rather than immediately upon death. In this place, you'll see basically it will be a hourglass. Once the round ends, then the usage will be available and will show you pre-round of the next round. This is, in my opinion, a very controversial change because, I mean, it was a good way to tell people, hey, I blinded too, or something. But at the same time, I guess it wouldn't really matter. I mean, like, you can say that. So I'm a bit like I don't know what to feel about this, because I think it takes away some aspects of gameplays and I guess like setting up things, but at the same time, I mean, you don't really like it doesn't really matter because it happened like let's just say like a couple rounds, like a couple minutes, like before you died, for example. So I guess it's kind of like, okay, well, I don't really have to know about this part, but maybe I should know maybe when the round ends. So I mean, I guess it's good, but I'm not too sure. And as for the concuss, the well-placed concuss should be just as should be as consequential for our movement-oriented duelists as other agents. They also think as well this strengthens defensive teleports compared to dashes as more flexible reposition options to compensate of their weakness in entry compatibilities. Concuss now slow enemy dashes by 50%, which affects Jet's Tailwind and Neon Slide. So this is what they'll talk about the concussor is also being changed as well. That dashes would now be slowed by 50% if they use a concuss. So they are trying really hard that the neon meta will be gone. And that's the case. I guess they might have succeeded, but at the same time, just don't go to the same site as a concussing character. But I mean, I'm not too sure if this is really going to change stuff, but we'll find out. The Overheal UI visual update. They've also updated the Overheal shield in the bottom HUD to improve to basically improve itself. This affects how they show bonus HP after using Reyna's Devour and Clove's Pick Me Up. Smoke visual updates. The visual cues have now been added to the inside of the smokes to let you know when they're about to disappear to better support decision making. These cues match up with the one that exists on the outside of the smoke, which includes Astra, Brimstone, Omen, and Clove. Those are the agents which have been affected by this update. They've also been very busy with weapon updates. So obviously as Valorant grows, you have to learn, take advantage of different methods of swinging and peeking. They've also tried to maintain this relationship between player movement and speed and accuracy. So they've opted to increase all movement state accuracy penalties or movement error and encourage intentional basically movement when shooting. The Sheriff and the Frenzy already have different movement error and accuracies compared to other pistols, which are valuable to maintain for the sake of their identities. SMGs are unaffected, as we believe that their mobile accuracy is a core part of how the weapons are unique within the arsenal. The Ghost having more bullets than the Frenzy didn't make sense according to the developers. So for the pistol inaccuracy changes, all pistols except for the Shorty movement while crouching inaccuracy has now gone up from 0.1 to now 0.5. The classic run, the right click running in inaccuracy has gone up from 1.3 to 1.5. Right click burst jumping inaccuracy has gone up now from 2.1 to 2.25. Walking inaccuracy 0.84 to now 1.1, and running inaccuracy 0.2 to now 2.3. Ghost walking inaccuracy 0.84 to 1.1, and for running 2 to 2.3. All the rifles now has a walking inaccuracy of now 3, gone up from 2, and for running it's now gone up from 6 to 5. Well, it was originally 5 now, and now it is to 6. Machine guns walk inaccuracy is now gone up from 2.4 to now 3, and run inaccuracy is now gone up from 6 to 6.5. So they are trying really hard to make it as inaccurate as possible if you're trying to run and gun or even walking as well. Pistol bullet count charges has been changed as well. Frenzy's bullets has now increased from 13 to 15, while the Ghost has decreased from 15 to 13. They've also made changes as well to the Phantom, so for the damage fall off. So previously it was 39 damage per bullet, 0 to 15, 35 15 to 30, and 31,000 was 30 meters plus. Now it is basically now just 39 damage per bullet, 0 to 20 meters, and 35 damage per bullet, 20 meters plus. This should hopefully remove some of the instances of 140 headshots and all instances of 124 in one headshot. So that should maybe make it a bit more closer to the Vandal, but we'll see. Bug fixes for Killjoy. Fix a bug with Alarm Bot where it did not play the proper reactivation ceremony and would instantly reactivate when KJ re-entered its range. for Clove, fix the bug where metal was hitting through level geometry, and for Math, fix an issue where the ambient audio elements was not playing pre-round for Pearl, Breeze, and Sunset. Now for the PC Premiere people, they've added a visual divider on invite division standings that shows a cutoff for demotion at the end of stage, episode 9, act 3. Teams below the divider after standings finalized will be demoted at the start of the next stage. They've also added a message role that notifies if your team has qualified for playoffs. First time you return to the Premier Hub after your team has met the qualification requirements, you'll see the message. Added a contender eligibility expiration date on the Premier tab of the career page. Contender eligibility for 2024 expires at the end of stage, episode 9, act 3. To be contender eligible in 2025, you and your team must perform a qualifying action in stage episode 9 act 3 or at any point in 2025. Qualifying actions, which includes play a weekly or playoff match on a team in contender or invite division, reach Immortal 3 or high peak ranking in comp, and play in a playoff match in Elite 5. They've also made changes well to the client as well. They've added now a QR code login feature for Riot Client using the Riot mobile app. If you log into Valorant through the Riot client, you can now scan a QR code and log in through the Riot mobile app. No more typing in your Riot ID and password. All you have to do is just open up the Riot mobile, scan the code, and you're in. You can learn more about it as well via this link here. And there's only one bug fix for Premiere. Fix an issue where games in a best of 3 match were all listed as finals in Premiere match history. Games now correctly listed as game 1, 2, or 3. And for the console players, there's only one bug fix, which includes now the agents. Fix an issue where sensitivity is severely reduced when using Jet and Raid's ultimate abilities until engaging focus. So yes, this is a bit of a longer video than normal for any patch notes video, but it's quite a lot to get through, so I'm glad that I got through there. So now, guys, to like, comment, and subscribe. It would really help me, especially on this channel. Comment down below what do you think about the regen shields and all these other changes well in this patch. Is it a good change or is it a bad change? I'd love to hear your thoughts. So that's really about it for me. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Catch you guys next time in the next one. Goodbye.